Hello and welcome to the mains PYQ discussion by New IAS. This is a video where we are going to discuss the question from 2014 on Harappan civilization. It's a very interesting question that requires more than factual understanding from you. To what extent has the urban planning and culture of the Indus Valley civilization provided inputs to the present day urbanization? Now, in this question, you have to understand what was the urban planning and culture of Indus Valley civilization. That's the first part. The second is about connecting it to the present day urbanization. So this is the analytical part. So UPSC is asking you to understand the past and connect it with the present. And this is not the first time a question of similar nature has come. Now we have integrated both of them in the body part. On one side, we will talk about the features of urban planning in Indus Valley civilization, and then we will connect it with modern times with examples. So how do we start this question? We start with this question by placing Indus Valley in its right context. For example, we'll give the time period first. So this is a civilization that existed from 3000 BC approximately to 1500 BC, since the beginning of the Vedic civilization. So we'll give the time period at the intro. We'll also give the geography, which is northwestern region along Indus Basin, the region that is marked here. Now this is one map that we can integrate just to diversify your presentation, a small map of India, at least half of it, and place the northwest region as Indus Valley civilization. Then in the question we'll also connect, in the introduction we will also connect it with the question by talking about the urban features of the civilization. So Indus Valley was no agrarian civilization as such. It was much like a modern civilization which had typical urban features. Now we'll talk about these three factors in the introduction. We'll give the map and then we'll come to the body part. Now we have identified 6 specific urban features, and these features are going to be connected with modern times. The first feature is the layout of the cities. So Indus Valley, if you look at the pictures of Indus Valley civilization, what you can see is grid-like patterns like this. So it has a certain geometry. Now you come to the modern cities. For example, the cities developed by Edward Lutens. Take the case of Chandigarh for example, or take the case of Delhi for example. These cities will be well aligned in a geometrical pattern. Any developed city like Barcelona for example, they will be having this geometrical pattern because that eases communication, transport and other things. So that's the first thing that we can connect. Second is about the classification of the city into different areas. For example, in Harappan civilization, you can see the classification of citadel and lower town. Citadel is the place where they had activities of importance. It was slightly on an upper scale. And then you have the lower town, which was where the people resided. Just take the case of New Delhi and Old Delhi. You have the New Delhi where the administrative things are carried out. Then you have the Old Delhi, which is Shahjahanabad. It has other social reasons as well when it comes to Delhi's classifications. But on the whole, you can see where people reside in some place and administrative and other activities take place in some other place. So this classification is also part of the Indus Valley civilization. Third point is about the courtyard. So the speciality of courtyard in the Indus Valley period is they have a courtyard and a backyard. The courtyard will face the front road and the backyard will be facing the back of the city. Now this is exactly how modern cities are also designed. You have courtyard and backyard, and courtyard will be facing towards the opening or the road or the transport system that they have up front. The fourth point, very important point, it's about vertical planning. So we cannot give specific examples for this point because vertical planning in Indus Valley we can see 2-story buildings. And now if you take the modern buildings, we are building vertically and not horizontally because we want to save space. So now it's the time of Burj Khalifas and skyscrapers. But Indus Valley people saw that 3000 years back. They built 2-story buildings. So we'll connect it like that. The fourth is about drainage. So drainage is something that is very essential for any modern city. When the drainage becomes problematic, there will be urban floods. So Indus Valley people realized this. They had individual drains from each house connecting to a major drain which drains. So this again is a modern feature. Modern feature of present day urbanization. Finally, it's about the social spaces. So one example we can give here is the example of Great Bath. They had many such places like that. For example, granaries, dockyards, Great Bath, the Citadel. So they had spaces where people could gather, people could do activities in a collective way. We also have spaces like that. Take for example Connaught Place in Delhi. So And a control place is just one example I gave you. Anywhere, the Times Square in New York, anywhere in the world, you have places like this, social spaces. So 6 points and 6 connections that would add to the content part of this 10 marker. This map and the features that we have given here will add to the value addition, and we'll conclude this by talking about the progressive nature of the Indus Valley civilization. It was a very progressive civilization, which is evident from this body part. Now we'll also give some value addition in the form of the Indus Valley script. It's a picture graphic script. If this script is deciphered, much more can be revealed about this very peculiar civilization. We'll end it on that note. So that's the discussion of this answer. Thank you for listening.